You can change your mind. Don't let your mind change you.
There is force in the universe, which, if we permit it, will flow through us and produce miraculous results. When something ought to be true, then it proves to be a very powerful truth. Most people fail in life not because they aim too high and miss, but because they aim too low and hit. The fear of death follows from the fear of life. A man who lives fully is prepared to die at any time. Once war becomes a clash of absolutes, there is no breathing room for mercy. Absolute truth is blind truth.
Sometimes the questions are complicated and the answers are simple. Staying in the past won't help you move on to your future. I is for integrity. Be honest with yourself and others.
At some point, you just gotta forgive the past. Your happiness hinges on it. If you can't feel gratitude when you are in need, the feeling of the need would never leave you, even if it is fulfilled.
It is a very natural human trait to destroy that which frightens us. Remember, if you play small, you stay small.
In the high country of the mind, one has to become adjusted to the thinner air of uncertainty.
Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get.
A river cuts through rock, not because of its power, but because of its persistence. Stop giving meaningless praise and start giving meaningful action. If you try to change it, you will ruin it. Try to hold it, and you will lose it. Keep your face to the sunshine, and you cannot see a shadow. Somebody may beat me, but they are going to have to bleed to do it. The things hardest to bear are sweetest to remember.
Excuses are merely nails used to build a house of failure.
For with much wisdom comes much sorrow. The more knowledge, the more grief. The day we put an end to believing in hope will be the day we stop existing, for without hope, we are nothing.
In order to change the world, you have to get your head together first. Always be friendly, always be kind, like the most beautiful flower that you can find. He who doesn't understand history is doomed to repeat it. Only knowledge can turn life's unbearableness into a weapon. Cleverness isn't always true, nor is the truth always clever.
Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do.
Life is all about becoming a better version of yourself. Don't fast forward through life. You'll miss all the good stuff along the way.
Life is infinitely stranger than anything which the mind of man could invent.
A dream is a wish your heart makes when you're fast asleep.
Magic always happens when you direct your inner powers to the object you want to change. In truth, Freud sees nothing and understands nothing. Human life is but a series of footnotes to a vast, obscure, unfinished masterpiece.
If you are willing to go out on a limb, the tree of life holds endless possibilities.
Two things are infinite, the universe and human stupidity, and I'm not sure about the universe. Decide how badly you want it, then proceed accordingly. If we admit that human life can be ruled by reason, then all possibility of life is destroyed.
Talent hits a target no one else can hit. Genius hits a target no one else can see.
In life, you always see the darkest days before the sunshine. There are no traffic jams along the extra mile. Do not seek to follow in the footsteps of the wise. Seek what they sought. When it resonates and you feel it, then it was meant for you. There may be times when we are powerless to prevent injustice, but there must never be a time when we fail to protest. I try to avoid looking forward or backward and try to keep looking upward.
Be wiser than other people if you can, but do not tell them so. The mistakes I've made are dead to me, but I can't take back the things I never did.
All our knowledge has its origin in our perceptions. A ship is safe in harbor, but that's not what ships are for. Money gives you freedom. Freedom gives you happiness. Being interesting isn't important, but being happy is, as well as being a person you're proud of. I am nothing more than the consequence of catastrophe. One can be the master of what one does, but never of what one feels. There's nothing wrong with not understanding yourself. The thorns we endure in life are but shadowed by the precious petals of a rosy outlook. It is life, I think, to watch the water. A man can learn so many things.
Keep going. It's not as difficult as you feel it is. Don't give up. In the midst of darkness, He alone sees the dawn. In the midst of the soundless, He alone hears harmony. But truly, if I were not Alexander, I would be Diogenes.
You are confined only by the walls you build yourself.
It's enough for me to be sure that you and I exist at this moment. Nothing can be more hurtful to your heart than betraying yourself. Overconfidence blurs out the risk. Inferiority magnifies it.
People change, love hurts, friends leave, things go wrong, but remember that life goes on. People will not remember what you did for living. They will remember how you touched them with kindness and loving. When people try to tell you who you are, don't believe them. It's not enough knowing that you can walk on water, Peter. You have to get out of the boat.
Thus the expert in battle moves the enemy and is not moved by him.
Every person has a right to risk their own life for the preservation of it.
I'd rather hear an ugly truth rather than an obscure lie.
You don't get respect if you don't deserve it. Prepare yourself for success. You have to see it coming to get there.
There are routes not to be followed, armies not to be attacked, citadels not to be besieged, territory not to be fought over. Never regret a day in your life. Good days give happiness. Bad days give experience. Worst days give lessons. And best days give memories. Thoughts become things. If you see it in your mind, you will hold it in your hand.
It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. It's a lack of clarity that creates chaos and frustration. Those emotions are poison to any living goal. Focus on what you can control and let go of what you cannot. Just when you think it can't get any worse, it can. And just when you think it can't get any better, it can.
No matter how good you get, you can always get better, and that's the exciting part.
The sharpest minds often ruin their lives by overthinking the next step, while the dull win the race with eyes closed.
Sometimes you recognize truth because it destroys you for a bit.
Every great cause begins as a movement, becomes a business, and eventually degenerates into a racket.
Many things that don't really mean so much of anything are wonderful.
A day without laughter is like living in darkness. You try to find your way around, but you can't see clearly. Disappointment came to me and booted me and bruised and hurt me, but that's how people grow up. Wanting to be someone else is a waste of who you are. To see me does not necessarily mean to see my face. To understand my thoughts is to have seen me.
All the fish needs is to get lost in the water. All man needs is to get lost in Tao.
Fortune does favor the bold, and you'll never know what you're capable of if you don't try. Anything that doesn't take years of your life and drive you to suicide hardly seems worth doing. Don't part with your illusions. When they are gone, you may still exist, but you have ceased to live. Facing it, always facing it, that's the way to get through. Face it.
Don't ever take a fence down until you know why it was put up. There is no greater danger than underestimating your opponent.
It was amazing how it worked. The tiniest bit of truth made credible the greatest lies. We may regard certain days as free days. Free days are, however, fee days. We will pay later.
Therefore, the good fighter will be terrible in his onset and prompt in his decision.
You just have to go after what you want, and if it doesn't want you back, then so be it. It doesn't deserve you anyways.
Leaders are limited by their vision rather than by their abilities. She will always wear her crown, regardless of the hate. I think it was the institution. I was trying to master it. Have faith. Have faith. When you have nothing else, have faith.
Everyone's time is limited. What matters most is to focus on what matters most. Whereof one cannot speak, thereof one must be silent.
If the enemy has occupied them before you, do not follow him, but retreat and try to entice him away.
It's a good idea always to do something relaxing prior to making an important decision in your life. Root for others to win, and you will remain blessed. There is always room for more people to elevate. I'll try anything once, twice if I like it, 3 times to make sure. If a man is to shed the light of the sun upon other men, he must first of all have it within himself. We have been called to heal wounds, to unite what has fallen apart, and to bring home those who have lost their way. There are no bad words, bad thoughts, bad intentions, and words. The inner revolution will not be televised or sold on the internet. It must take place within one's own mind and heart. Searching outside of you is samsara. Searching within you leads to nirvana. Once you reject fear, you will become the perfect candidate to receive and reflect truth. Don't get set into one form, adapt it and build your own, and let it grow. Be like water. The 2 most important days in your life are the day you are born and the day you find out why. He's not your Prince Charming if he doesn't make sure you know that you're his princess. Never stop fighting, never stop dreaming. Don't be discouraged if your effort does not yield desirable result. Good thing, take time. One swallows the lie that flatters, but sips the bitter truth drop by drop. For my part, I know nothing with any certainty, but the sight of the stars makes me want to dream. You make the world a better place by making daily improvements to become the best version of yourself. The past is a place of reference, not a place of residence. The past is a place of learning, not a place of living. If your absence doesn't bother them, then your presence never mattered to them in the first place.
Once you realize you deserve better, letting go will be the best decision ever.
A life spent making mistakes is not only more honorable, but more useful than a life spent doing nothing. When you choose one way out of many, all the ways you don't take are snuffed out like candles, as if they'd never existed. Your tomorrow depends entirely on what you do today.
Over time, hidden truths morph in the dark soil of deceit into something much worse.
Change happens when the pain of staying the same is greater than the pain of change. It takes a huge effort to free yourself from memory. Earthlings went on being friendly when they should have been thinking instead.
You don't put your life into your books. You find it there.
Having perfected our disguise, we spend our lives searching for someone we don't fool. If beautiful lilies bloom in ugly waters, you too can blossom in ugly situations.
The only limits for tomorrow are the doubts we have today.
Don't waste your time hating a failure. Failure is a greater teacher than success. Listen, learn, go on. Normality is a paved road. It's comfortable to walk, but no flowers grow there. Haters keep on hating because somebody's got to do it.
Hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard.
We have no right to just stand by and watch them tarnish our tomorrow.
Never argue with stupid people. They will drag you down to their level and then beat you with experience.
People often claim to hunger for truth, but seldom like the taste when it's served up. Man is able to decide for or against reason. He is able to create beyond reason or to destroy below reason. The clever combatant imposes his will on the enemy, but does not allow the enemy's will to be imposed on him. Life is much more successfully looked at from a single window. Flexibility makes buildings to be stronger. Imagine what it can do to your soul. Take your victories, whatever they may be, cherish them, use them, but don't settle for them. Nothing that happens to you was meant to be. The only thing about you that was meant to be is you. Blaze your own trail. Autobiography begins with a sense of being alone. It is an orphan form. Difficulties increase the nearer we get to the goal. He must be very ignorant, for he answers every question he is asked. There's a world of difference between truth and facts. Facts can obscure truth.
It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live.
Be not afraid of life. Believe that life is worth living, and your belief will help create the fact.
You're only young once, but you can be immature forever.
Life is like a novel. It's filled with suspense. You have no idea what is going to happen until you turn the page. Countless words count less than the silent balance between yin and yang. Leaving your religion and having to invent your own system of values is a big deal after all. Death is not the opposite of life, but a part of it.
One half of the world cannot understand the pleasures of the other.
Of everything you could be and everything you do, the greatest thing of all, Henry, is simply to be you. It's no use going back to yesterday, because I was a different person then.
If you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it well enough.
Truth has a resonance to it that fills the cracks where falsehoods lie. Go after what you want in life. Don't just talk about it. Take a step. Run. Don't wring your hands over the loss of the past. Steady your hands for the adventure of the future.
No matter how safe and beautiful it is, a cage is still a cage.
The words he said, too, must be human enough to bleed. Embrace the truth that joy does not happen to us. It reflects our mindset and choices. Don't be afraid of your fears. They're not there to scare you. They're there to let you know something is worth it. You look ridiculous if you dance. You look ridiculous if you don't dance. So you might as well dance. You must be the best judge of your own happiness. The truth is, everyone is going to hurt you. You just gotta find the one worth suffering for. Every time I plant a seed, he say, kill it before it grow. He say, kill it before they grow.
The penalty for procrastination is the loss of hopes and dreams. Things joined by profit, when pressed by misfortune and danger, will cast each other aside.
For the world is in a bad state, but everything will become still worse unless each of us does his best.
The trick is to enjoy life. Don't wish away your days, waiting for better ones ahead.
Sometimes it's better to stop trying to make sense of things. Life isn't clear-cut. There are always gray areas.
Never give up. Things that you keep dreaming about will happen one day.
Your conscience is the measure of the honesty of your selfishness. Listen to it carefully.
Until you have suffered much in your heart, you cannot learn humility.
Never do anything that you can't admit doing, because if you are that ashamed of whatever it is, it's probably wrong. The things you do for yourself are gone when you are gone, but the things you do for others remain as your legacy.
Having the life of your dreams is simple. Make conscious choices.
It is error only, and not truth, that shrinks from inquiry.
Success involves going to where others believe is too far.
The most important thing is this: be able at any moment to be free to choose a life that makes you happy.
Growth is in a series of mistakes. That's the only way you learn.
The desire to die was my one and only concern. To it I have sacrificed everything, even death. Too late. I found you can't wait to become perfect. You gotta go out and fall down and get up with everybody else. To be independent of public opinion is the first formal condition of achieving anything great. We can only see a short distance ahead, but we can see plenty there that needs to be done. Time doesn't heal emotional pain. You need to learn how to let go.
The better organized the state, the duller its humanity.
Sometimes people are beautiful, not in looks, not in what they say, just in what they are. You have to lift a person up before you can really put them in their place.
Stand in the divine rain, and seeds of wisdom will grow in your soul.
When the darkness closes all around, beauty is still there, just waiting to be found. People are successful because they think and act like successful people. We cannot go far in life if we only take the path that everyone is taking. The stupid neither forgive nor forget. The naive forgive and forget. The wise forgive but do not forget.
To bear and not to own, to act and not lay claim, to do the work and let it go, for just letting it go is what makes it stay.
Do not sabotage your new relationship with your last relationship's poison. Common sense in an uncommon degree is what the world calls wisdom. A bitter reality of truth can be wisely told in a sweet tale of lullaby. When all is said and done, all anyone has left is their integrity at their core. Don't give that away too.
As long as you can use your hands, the world is your oyster. I speak gibberish to the civilized world, and it replies in kind.
The unhappiest people in this world are those who care the most about what other people think. I want words at my funeral, but I guess that means you need life in your life. There are truths which are not for all men, nor for all times.
Better a broken promise than none at all. After all, if you run far enough, no one can catch you.
Dreaming of a life not lived, but holding on to the fantasy, because the scars of reality still sting the heart. Every block of work has patience inside it, and it is the task of skills to discover it. Every day is a bank account, and time is our currency. No one is rich, no one is poor, we've got 24 hours each. You must learn from your past mistakes, but not lean on your past successes.
If what one has to say is not better than silence, then one should keep silent.
When life doesn't meet your expectations, it was important to take it with grace. Night is a time of rigor, but also of mercy. There are truths which one can see only when it's dark.
Build your opponent a golden bridge to retreat across.
Success seems to be largely a matter of hanging on after others have let go. Never make a permanent decision based on temporary feelings. Positive anything is better than negative nothing. The problem with people is they forget that most of the time it's the small things that count. It doesn't matter what we are, it matters what we do.
Glory resides in the hearts of those you inspire, not in fleeting moments of fame. Remove the clowns from your life before you become one.
If you're not failing every now and again, it's a sign you're not doing anything very innovative. Give me the facts, and I will determine my own truths. Things die, but they don't always stay dead. Believe me, I know.
Without subtle ingenuity of mind, one cannot make certain of the truth of their reports. The journey is what brings us happiness, not the destination.
If there is no struggle, there is no progress. There is a road from the eye to the heart that does not go through the intellect. There are many rivers that we cross in our lifetime. Unfortunately, some of those rivers just don't have bridges. Men will not accept truth at the hands of their enemies, and truth is seldom offered to them by their friends. Leaders must be close enough to relate to others, but far enough ahead to motivate them. Where you stumble and fall, there you will find gold. Man is least himself when he talks in his own person. Give him a mask, and he will tell you the truth. Champions have the courage to keep turning the pages, because they know a better chapter lies ahead. When the thunderclap comes, there is no time to cover the ears. Sometimes you lie to deceive people. Sometimes you lie because you need the lie to become the truth. The best discoveries always happen to the people who weren't looking for them. You don't need to understand what the world is. Just let your life flow with it and become something.
Don't fear big. Fear mediocrity. Fear waste. Fear the lack of living to your fullest.
Those who would wage war should first eliminate all domestic enemies before proceeding to attack the external foe. Perhaps it would be simpler if you just did what you're told and didn't try to understand things. The most believable lies are the ones that are at least a little bit true. There's nothing more inspiring than a person's courage to heal.
Better the comfort of a lie than the absurdity of the truth.
The more we value things, the less we value ourselves.
It's important in life. If you don't give a shit, it can help you a lot.
And just when I thought things were starting to get better, everything had gone wrong again.
Let your mind wander in the pure and simple. Be one with the infinite. Let all things take their course.
Rewards and punishments are the lowest form of education. The shortness of life, so often lamented, may be the best thing about it. Your own positive future begins in this moment. All you have is right now. Every goal is possible from here. You may tend to get cancer from the thing that makes you want to smoke so much, not from the smoking itself.
Slowly we became silent, and silence itself, if an enemy to friendship.
Successful people don't have fewer problems. They have determined that nothing will stop them from going forward. Too many of us are not living our dreams because we are living our fears. Skill is only developed by hours and hours of work.
There is no truth, Stephanie said mistressly. Only perspectives. Sometimes your circle decreases in size, but increases in value.
The laughter of the world is merely loneliness, pathetically trying to reassure itself.
I do not know everything. Still many things I understand.
Life has become immeasurably better since I have been forced to stop taking it seriously.
Life is a bittersweet journey, my friend, a bittersweet journey. To shine your brightest light is to be who you truly are.
When you stop chasing the wrong things, the right ones catch up.
Write it on your heart that every day is the best day in the year.
One must always be prepared for riotous and endless waves of transformation.
It is man's natural sickness to believe that he possesses the truth.
A celibate clergy is an especially good idea because it tends to suppress any hereditary propensity toward fanaticism.
Adversity discourages losers. Adversity inspires winners.
What others think about you is none of your business. Those who make conversations impossible make escalation inevitable.
Challenges in life can either enrich you or poison you. You are the one who decides.
Before wanting to feel at home with someone else, learn how to feel at home with yourself. Thou shalt not be a victim, thou shalt not be a perpetrator, but above all, thou shalt not be a bystander. Yet we must say something when those who say the most are saying nothing.
He who pursues fame at the risk of losing his self is not a scholar.
It takes too much energy to be against something unless it's really important. You can't save anyone who wouldn't save themselves without you. It's the hardest lesson to learn in life. Take it from me.
You can't blame gravity for falling in love.
Believe in sudden shifts in life. You never know what is coming for you. A man is never more truthful than when he acknowledges himself a liar.
We don't receive wisdom. We must discover it for ourselves.
My happiness grows in direct proportion to my acceptance and in inverse proportion to my expectations. There is no greater sorrow than to recall happiness in times of misery. If anyone on the verge of action should judge himself according to the outcome, he would never begin.
Science is organized knowledge. Wisdom is organized life.
I have so much to share with the world. Please be patient, and you will get everything you're currently waiting for.